Good afternoon. My name's Diane. I garden here in the northeast of England, and today we are going to go into an area of the garden at the back of the house where I'm going to create an all-white garden. So this small area at the back of the house is where I had intended to put my new greenhouse, and I'll put the links down below in the sort of written area, and it's links to the greenhouse series. So this border here at the back was just overgrown. It was huge, and it came out to here. So I dug it all out, thinking the greenhouse was going to go here, and then changed my mind. So the greenhouse is now going to go in the main part of the garden. So I had the idea that I would put a few more paving stones down here. So I've laid those. This is a manhole cover here. So we couldn't go any further back towards the fence. So I'm just going to stand a paving stone on there with a plant. This soil will all sort of come around this area here, and it'll be much more manageable there, because when this border was so full, I couldn't actually get in to keep on top of weeds and things. But I've got lots of beautiful plants in this part of the garden, and I wasn't going to rip them all out this year when they're flowering so beautifully. So I'll wait until this Rebecca finishes, and then I'll dig him out. Behind him, I've got some white iris that have been here for years, so that's great. This plant over here, I grew this from seed. Take that away. So this was supposed to be Veronicastum alba, and it's not. When it's grown, it's pink. So I'm going to take him out, and really I'm just going for a palette of whites and greens. So maybe a few aces. So I've planted some Solomon seal over there. That's white. The pulmonaria has a sort of very pale blue flower. He might be all right staying. The Rebecca will come out. Behind the Rebecca also I've got a pure white Linaria. He will stay. This is Alstroemeria, and that's bright red. So I'll wait until this is his second flush. I'll wait until he's flowered, dig him out. Nothing's going to be thrown away. These will all go into other parts of my garden. So if it was a blank canvas, if you've just moved into a house and you've got a blank canvas and you're starting from scratch, you can just plant all white plants and you know what you've got. But because for the last 15 years, this garden has been all sorts over the years, it's full of tulip bulbs and everything. I think I've got everything out of this area, but if the odd flower comes up that is the wrong colour, then I'll just wait until he's finished flowering and dig him out. So this here is from the chive family and gets a beautiful lavender flower. Oh, it smells gorgeous. This is a lovely Aquilegia. I don't know what colour that is, but I might dig him up anyway and transplant him. Over in this corner here, the area where I've dug out to put the greenhouse now was full of this oxeye daisy. So I dug 3 big clumps up and planted him there. Over here, this is a fairy rose, and it's been stunning. It's been here for years, and I've bought a beautiful white climbing rose, which is called Creme de la Creme. I'll show you that. So he's going to go at the front of the garage, and I've bought some wires to go on the fence along here. I may even I may even go along, train it along the garage line. But I'm going to plant a white climbing rose here. These ferns are, it's coming to the end of the year. We're in October now. So these are sort of dying off very gradually. They'll just go underground. They'll be fine. This beautiful Linaria, I'll dig these out and I always go for the pale pink ones. But the garden tends to be full of the purple ones. And again, it's the end of the year, so he's not looking at his best, but that's what this white hydrangea has looked like. Fabulous. So I've already got, because this border here is deep shade, it never gets sunshine on it, whereas the border over here gets brilliant sunshine, south facing sunshine. So I'll keep the hydrangea. You can see that when I originally laid the paving stones, I'm going to clean all of these up so that they match the new paving stones. But these stone slabs, I've sort of put them down in an irregular pattern. I'll fill these areas up with new soil, and I've got lots of plants that I'll fill these gaps in. I've got a lovely little white primrose there. I mean, totally wrong time of the year to be flowering, but hey ho. This here is a gorgeous peony, and I know he's deep pink, so I'll have to move him. And then more pale pink Linaria. I like to keep them tall like this until the very last minute, because if I'd cut him down right down to here for the winter, I would probably forget that he was pink. So I want to know how tall he grows and what colour he is, and then it's very easy to move him to the back of the border in the main garden. And then I've got more fern. So yes, what else have I got? I've got this beautiful Acer, which he was in that back corner over there. Right, I'll take you to the front of the garage now, where I have my Covent Garden style barrow that I made out of an old wooden lounger. Again, I'll put a link to that, and that's where I keep all of the plants that I buy week to week. I put them there so that I know what I've got to plant out. So we'll go to the front garage now. So we're at the front of my garage now. This is the old lounger that I made into a sort of very low barrow. And all these plants on here I've bought recently over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And they're all to go out in the garden, including this one, which he's got snapped. I have tried to identify him with my Seek app, but it's not showing up what he is. So if anybody knows what he is, I'd love you to let me know in the comments. He's beautiful, him. So he's going in the white garden, and he'll go into one of those sort of pockets of earth that juts out. These, obviously this isn't for the white garden, but these Rebecca's, they look like they're made out of velvet. They're gorgeous, aren't they? So I've got 2 of them. Anyway, I digress. So this is the rose here in the middle. This is the creme de la creme rose. It's actually got a bud on already. All of these ones that I bought, I got them in the sale, half price, end of the year. I'm sure he had a bud on. Oh, there. So he is going to go where that fairy rose was, the pink one at the back. And the fairy rose, I'm going to take all these chrysanthemums out of here and put a big trough in here, and then grow that fairy rose up there, because he'll never grow any taller than that. So I'm quite pleased with that. And then just wherever I go now, I'm on the lookout for anything white to go in that garden. And I've already bought loads of, oh, there's another one of those Rebecca's. Isn't he just gorgeous? I've grown from seed some white foxgloves, and I've bought a huge array of white plants that I'm going to grow from seed. I'll show you what I've bought, and I've also bought loads of white bulbs which I'm going to plant in tubs and in the earth through in that white garden. So we'll get off to a good start in the spring. So if you come in the house now, I'll show you what I've bought. Hi, welcome back. So we've moved into the kitchen, and hopefully the light will be much better for you and you'll actually be able to see what I've bought. So this is my stash of bulbs. I've bought them all from a shop in the UK called Lidl. It's a German shop, a German chain. You've probably got them all over the world. And it is now the season for bulbs. So every time I've gone shopping, I've just looked for the white bulbs and chosen these ones. So I bought one packet of tulips, and basically because these are the only white tulips that they had. And tulips here in the UK, up in the northeast, I may get 2 years out of a tulip bulb flowering, but more often than not, this first year it's fantastic, and the second year it comes up what they call blind, so full of potential, lovely green healthy leaves, but doesn't actually flower. So I've sort of gone mainly for the narcissus, the daffodils, but the tulips, lovely healthy bulbs, and what you're looking for with a bulb is that they're all nice and hard, quite large. If there's any sort of softness to the bulbs or any hint of green on any of them, you don't want them because they're diseased and they'll not flower. So this is Tulip Exotic Emperor, and that's really pretty, and these grow 35 centimeters tall, so that's quite a good size. The narcissus are gorgeous. I've got Narcissus Bridal Crown. Just hold that there so that the camera can focus on it. And this one is a 30 centimetre tall one. I already have this narcissus in tubs at the front of the garage from last year. And it grows on one central stem, and then at the very tip it branches out, and you get at least 5 little perfect narcissus heads, and they are the sort of palest creamy white. So I'm very excited about that. And then a similar one is, let me have a look, where is the similar one? Oh, there it is. So this one is called Minnow. Again, 30 centimeters, and that will do the same. It's a bit more yellowy than the bridal crown. And some of these I'm going to put in tubs and just display around the white garden, and then I can sort of move them out behind the greenhouse for the rest of the year when they're finished flowering. And some I will be putting into the soil, the very limited amount of soil that I have there. I've got this one, which is Narcissus Obdam. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Looks like a big sort of, I think they call them doubles, where it's just a cluster of petals. They're gorgeous. Again, lovely, healthy bulbs. Now these are interesting, these packets of narcissus. This is called Mount Hood, and these actually change colour. So they start off, this one starts off a very pale lemon, but then it changes to almost, if not pure white, with a tiny bit of yellow in the centre. That's lovely. And then in the same vein is this one, which is cassata, but that is a tad more lemony. It's quite yellow actually when it opens out, and then it fades. So I might not put that in the white garden. I might just put that in a tub of its own. Then I bought these, which I'm not quite sure about because of the red. I don't know whether it looks a bit garish, but I love the whiteness of the petals. They look really waxy and pure, brilliant white. Very strange looking bulbs indeed. And this is Narcissus recurvus. I've got 8 of them. I've also bought, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but isn't that a pretty flower? Very delicate. And this one is short. It's only 15 centimeters tall, and I've got 25 of them. So lovely. Now I do know in the back garden there that I've got white tulips already, but I also know that last year I planted a load of purple allium. The good thing is that I remember I put little sticks, little markers where I planted the allium, so I will be able to just dig those out, put them in the other garden. So to replace them, I've bought 2 very large allium Mount Everest. These grow up to 100 centimeters tall and they're fabulous. And then I've got this packet of allium Graceful Beauty, and I've got 40 of these. So I was expecting them to be absolutely minuscule, almost like a wild garlic size, you know, tiny. But it does say that they grow 30 centimeters, so that's quite a substantial size. So that is these are my white bulbs. And then I've gone a bit crazy and bought loads of seeds to germinate white perennials for the white garden. So I'll show you the seeds now. Right, so in the monthly magazine that I get, I came upon an advert from this company, Stocks and Green. I've never used them before, I've never grown seeds from them before, but it was the company's anniversary, and they said, oh, every customer could have a free packet of the Bascom Snowy Spires. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find out how I can put a picture up of all these plants that I've bought, so you can sort of see my thinking. They're all white, and all of them bar one packet of seeds I can actually start off in the autumn under glass, under cover. I can start them off and they'll grow to a certain size, and then they'll just go dormant once the temperature drops, and then next spring, March, April, I'll have a head start and they'll shoot off. So I got my free packet of the Bascom Snowy Spires, but then I couldn't resist buying more. So I bought another 2 packets of Snowy Spires there. Love a Bascom. Then I bought 2 different types of white antirrhinum. One's called Apple Blossom, one's called White Admiral, and I can start both of these off in the greenhouse this autumn. There, look. So under cover January to March or September to December. All you have to remember when you're planting your seeds and trying to get them to germinate autumn, winter is they mustn't get too wet, because the cold and the wet is just a killer. Then I've got 3 packets of Ami Major seeds, which I love. Absolutely gorgeous plant. It's really tall. Looks really well in my garden because I've got lots of trees. It's very shady, so anything white really pops out. So I'll put some of these in the back garden, in the white garden, but the rest will go in the main garden. And I'd already got a free packet with my magazine of Ami Major's Graceland, seeds. So I've got 4 packets of those to plant. Right, and then I've got this plant called Gora, which I love. This one, now this is the one that I can't start off in the autumn. It says, it doesn't say you can anyway. So I'll maybe wait until next year for that. Then I have planted foxglove, white foxgloves. This one is just white foxglove. Yeah, these are both foxglove alba, and I did plant these earlier in the year. I'll put the link to that, and then immediately lost the label, so I'm not entirely sure which foxgloves I've grown or the alba one, so I may start these off again, so I'm sure. And then I've got this one, which is an Argentine forget-me-not, little Snow White. Now this one here, it says you can also directly sow August to October for earlier show of flowers the following year. So when I've sort of weeded my garden this autumn, I think I'll directly sow these because I love forget-me-nots. And then I'll also put a link to success with lupins video. So I haven't had great success with lupins, but my sister gave me some seeds and they've all germinated. So I've got hundreds of lupins, but no white ones. So this one is called Noble Maiden. I'll start this off. Yeah, it can also be sown September to October under cover for flowers the following year. So I'll set that away. So that's it. That's all of my white bulbs so far, and all of my, definitely all of my white seeds. I'm not going to buy any more seeds because I don't have any more room left in the greenhouse, my late father-in-law's greenhouse that I used around the corner, and my greenhouse hasn't even been erected yet, but it will shortly. So I'm going to set all these seedlings away now. And I'm just going to have them in the conservatory, which will be very exciting to watch them every day and see which ones germinate the soonest. Anybody who's seen my sowing foxglove seeds will know that I germinate all of my seeds in pure vermiculite. And it was just a very sort of gradual realisation, really. I used to mix vermiculite in with my seedling compost, and over the years, the more vermiculite I put in, the more I realised I had a better success rate. And seeds don't need any nutrition, they just need a nice medium to grow roots. So although it's quite expensive vermiculite, I think I have about 100% success rate with it. It just, you don't get the damping off. And particularly when you're doing what I'm doing, which is sowing seeds in autumn, where they're going to hate it if, as I've already said, if they're in wet, cold medium, then vermiculite's great. It just seems to work. So why use anything else? So if this video doesn't turn out too long, I might put it on the end, me putting the seeds in the vermiculite. If not, if it's too long, I'll do another video where I sow my seeds, and then I'll do another video where I plant out in tubs and in the ground in the white garden all these bulbs. So, so that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, a very warm welcome, and we'll see you next time. So bye bye.